Marriage lost its relevance in modern culture. Marriage is commonly understood to be the embodiment of a lifetime commitment between a man and a woman. It is a long-standing tradition that seems to have more of a religious connotation rather than a social meaning. The social view of slavery for the women and prison for the men seems to have been floated around in society as far back as the 1920s and have since seen an evolution in beliefs that seems adhere to the original basis. These days, we don't know whether or if to accept that marriage has lost its relevance in modern culture due to a number of social and relationship changes over the decades that have passed. According to some people, the reason marriage has become so unpopular these days is because women are no longer financially reliant upon men in order to survive in the modern world. The equal rights movement successfully made women independent power thinkers with the ability to be anything and anyone they want to be. Thanks to the various laws in place all over the country, the rights of children who are born out of wedlock have also become to be protected, thus rendering marriage, then the only way to ensure a safe future for the child, has now been rendered moot and academic. Marriage used to have a religious symbolism attached to it. It was a sign that the partnership of a man and a woman was meant to last a lifetime in the eyes of God. But because of the high rate of divorce in our land, with statistics that change every day, marriage has become a farce. In the end, marriage can only be viewed the way it should be, as a failed part of the social ritual that is done even though we no longer understand why. This lack of understanding is what is causing marriage so fast fade into oblivion. However, the act of marriage can still be saved, provided that all religious and social importance be stripped from it, making it instead something that a couple choose to do as a part of non-binding ritual meant only for the thrill and experience of a legacy long past its prime. Let us not forget, marriage is an empty ceremony when the couples are not committed to each other, regardless of what vows are spoken as half-hearted pledges of love for one another. Yes, we're discussing has family lost its relevance, and we have two guests in the house. We have Lawrence Otiala, who is a life coach and a social analyst, and also we have BC Ojolo, who is a relationship and a marriage expert. It's good to have you, Lawrence.
Thank you for having me.
After a long time.
Yeah.
Yes, a very long one.
It's good to be here.
Yes, and same thing with BC too. It's been a long time we've been on set. It's good to have you here. Thank you for coming. Now, my first question, yes, like we're discussing behind the camera, has marriage not actually lost its relevance in this our society? Lawrence?
Well, marriage cannot lose its relevance. As long as humans exist, marriage will always be relevant. Reason because marriage is actually the foundation of every relationship in the society. All of that relationship that exists in the society has been stemmed from either a father, through a father-mother relationship, which can actually proceed to husband and wife relationship. So marriage is actually the bedrock, successful marriage, the bedrock of any society, and also family. So you cannot downplay the importance of marriage, even when you look at some of the institutions, the basic institution that consists of a marriage. You're talking about family. Without marriage, people don't live in isolation. People don't fall from the sky. You must come from a family, and family is the offspring or offshoot of marriage. Whether you like it or not, whether people divorce or not, you must marry. It's either you marry, you have a child, that child falls into a family, and by extension, the society is an aggregation of different people occupying a particular area or space. That's what you call a society. And each individual families, when they occupy a particular society, it's as a result of marriage. So you cannot downplay the relevance of marriage, despite all the challenges we hear about marriages today, failed marriages, the rate of divorce out there. However, marriage remains relevant.
Okay, BC, yeah, she said marriage is relevant, but if we check it out now, a lot of people are cohabitating. A lot of people are not even trying to get married. Some of them will just want to cohabitate, give birth to children, and just continue living life like a couple. Now, that is bringing people to a lot of, conclusion that it's not even necessary to get married. Just get a good person. Let you have an understanding and go ahead, whatever you want to build for yourself, and of course have children. And some of them are even coping well. Let me use that word, coping well, because that's not marriage, obviously. Most of them are coping well. Now, this idea that a lot of people are doing now, don't you think is, in the nearest future, it will bring down the value system of marriage?
Okay, thank you. Let me start with this. Something that is true from the beginning will continue to be true, no matter how people make it look like it's forced. So marriage has always been the truth. It has always been true, and it will remain the truth, no matter what is happening. Whether people are cohabiting, we have a lot of persons divorcing, we have people coming in, going out. Let's say we just want to have children. We have trial marriages, we have open marriage, and all those things. They will be there, but the truth is, marriage is true, marriage is good, it will continue to be good, irrespective of what I think about it, or what other person or people think about it. Now, you said something, you said, and they are coping well. You think they are coping well. Now, if you check well, even social media we're talking about, I'm on some groups, and you see women coming to say, all these asking questions anonymously. Don't reveal my identity, keep my identity. They will still tell you, I've been with him for Kiniko years, and I'm talking about marriage. He doesn't want us to
get married.
Meaning, though they are cohabiting, or they've been cohabiting, they have a child or 2 children for the guy, they still wish they are legally married. That's the truth. So it's at times it's because they want to paint it outside. You see them outside and they want to think everything is good. At least they won't come cry to you if you're not their friend. So we're thinking everything is fine, and my sister is not fine. No lady wants to be, every lady wants to be sure of her place in a guy's life. And so that's why at the end you see some perhaps someone come and be like, it was a mistake, ma. But then now I want us to do things but this guy is not agreeing to it. We have a child, and I tell them that you have a child together doesn't mean you should get married. That's the truth.
Don't push yourself into it.
It might be like even from the beginning you didn't even know what you were doing. And I tell them a child is not a mistake. Something happened. You pulled your clothes.
Obviously.
You pulled some other things before the main thing happened. So don't tell me we made a mistake.
It's not a mistake.
Your eyes wide and it happened.
Yes.
The truth is, that has happened. Your mistake should not be who you are. If you think it's not really going well, you can, legally see how you can take care of those child, of the child or the children, whatever that comes out of the relationship, and then you part ways and you're still fine and you can marry individuals. So everybody wants to get married. I'm telling you, nothing in the world, whether we have it now or it's not been born, it's not been given, will take away the relevance of marriage. Truth is, there is no marriage without 2 people.
Of
so
course.
we have a man and a woman. The 2, or 1 or 2 of them can lose their relevance. That is the value they have, not the marriage itself. So it's what myself and my man are bringing into the marriage that makes marriage. Marriage is just standing on its own there. It's the people coming in that makes a marriage what it is. I mean, that make marriage what it is. Do you understand? So I think it's better we talk about people than really naming marriage. I said something jokingly to my premarital house. I said, a lot of you are calling marriage bad name. And marriage will be like, what is my offense? The way they usually laugh, and they'll be like, what? I said it's the truth. It is we humans that are calling marriage what marriage is not bearing. Marriage is good, but it is myself and my man that said, at this point we want to come together. So it's better we do it well. So what do we think about this? Let's sit down and be sure we know what we're going into. Marriage will never lose its relevance. People are enjoying it. And, we said it before we came on the show. A lot of people are enjoying it, and the number of people are enjoying it outweighs the people that this divorce and
So that will bring me to the question of, because of the way things are going right now in the country, and I mean the Gen Z, that's why we're asking this question, would marriage lose its relevance with the way they are going about it? Some of them are going into marriage for the wrong reason, and they keep giving birth. While they are entering and making those mistakes, they are giving birth. Now at that point,
what they don't have, they can instill into that child. So if those children grow up, what would they also give to their children? At the end of the day, if they keep, you know, offsprings to offsprings to offspring, you will find out that people are not even getting married because of where it started from. You know, somebody entering marriage because he has money, can take care of my bills, and at the end of the day he doesn't have money, maybe after 1 year, she leaves with her children. Now, the next thing she'll be telling her children, marry a man that has money. If he doesn't have money, you know, make sure he has, you know, entitlement, he has whatever properties. And why she's telling her child that thing? Her child has it in her head that, oh, okay, I must get married to such a person. And they keep going on. Before you get to know, you find out that a lot of people will never probably enter marriage for the right reason, which is bringing us to what is the relevance of marriage. Now, I want to ask you, Lawrence, marriage itself, what is the relevance? What is the reason? Like, why is it relevant to the society? I need to ask so that people will understand.
You know, before we came on air, we were discussing, just like she said, and I mentioned something that every relationship of the society stems from marriage.
Yeah.
That people might not understand. They try to, even though they'll tell you marriage is a personal thing between two individuals. But the implication, the fallout from the decision of those two individuals, it go beyond, you have a multiplier effect. Like I said, if you are talking about the institutions, the basic institutions of marriage, that consist of marriage, we talk of family. Will someone tell me that family is not relevant in a society? Even the Gen Zs that, we should not forget, when people easily generalize, when they say Gen Zs, we have the terrible ones there, we have the outstanding ones.
Yes, of course.
So I want to return to something she said earlier on, that marriage is the truth. And whatever is the truth will always remain the truth. God is not foolish. Even though we humans, we always come with all sorts of things. As Christians, they always tell, we growing up, and in the Bible, Abraham, God promised him will be the father of all nations. How was it to become the father of all nations?
If it's
Through
not
marriage.
true, yes.
He got married. Even though Sarah was unable to conceive, he had to go to another lady. The bottom line, he falls back to the father-mother relationship, and by extension, husband and wife. So we are talking about one institution in marriage. Family is already there. Family is all over the society. We talk about church. We talk about religion. It stems from family. Religion just don't exist on its own. You need people from a family to be able to profess a particular faith and keep going. We talk about school. Marriage on its own educates people. It makes people responsible in their own way. We talk about marketplace. We talk about governance, government on its own. Government is all about the people. And the people comes from a family. A family spring up as a result of marriage. You see the multiplier effect. I mentioned 5. These are all the things that controls the society. So when you reason it from that perspective, you realize that marriage is invaluable. It is extremely valuable that you cannot even contemplate downplaying it. So people just need to come to reality and begin to assess what marriage is all about, and then begin to make progress in that way. The Gen Zs, like I said, they cannot defeat the bad ones. They cannot defeat the truth about marriage. The good ones will always be there to carry on. When we are long gone from this world, we don't ever exist again. People, maybe they'll probably be remembering us for what we've done in the past, whether we did good or bad. There will still be people that will defend the institution of marriage. Because without marriage, the society will not exist.
Right.
And then we'll just be floating like people without direction.
Now that brings me to another good question, which is, so what would you describe as a good marriage? Now, I don't want to put it just marriage, because we have different type of marriages. Now, but what will you describe as a good marriage? Of course, there are times of the challenges and all of that. But despite all of that, what would you describe as a good marriage? However you want to describe it, so that so that people will understand. Because some people are actually married, and they can't even say if this marriage is good or bad. They just feel like, I'm in the marriage, let's just leave because of my children, because of my husband. I have nowhere to go. I can't go back to my parents. You understand? So what can you describe as a good marriage?
Okay. So let me say it like this. We all know what is good and we all know what is bad. Let me start like that. Now, a good marriage. I don't want to say what is good to me might not be good to you, because I believe a normal human being will know that what is good is just what is good. Someone will not be beating you in marriage and will say, I can endure, so it's okay. Do you understand? So a good marriage. Now, from the beginning, as he said something, when God created the marriage and everything, this was for one thing. I was still one place where on Saturday to minister. I was telling them, I usually tell people, it's not, Adam was not lonely. Because singles will say, I'm lonely, I'm lonely. No, if you're lonely, loneliness is a mental health issue. That means you think you're depressed, you're isolated.
Yes.
But Adam was alone, meaning he needed a companion. So, and I remember I was trying to check one verse. It says, someone of his kind. And so, marriage, a good marriage is simple. It's a marriage where both of you, there are shared values, very important. Value system, which a lot of us we have lost in the society. And that's why we can sit down and discuss some things we are not even meant to discuss in the first place. So the value system was aligned first. It's not about he has money, she has money. Money is beautiful. But I'm telling you, if values align, there are some things that are basic. When you have values, even you don't want to be useless. A good value system is when you're saying I'm useless, it's not a good one. But someone that has integrity, someone that is responsible, I mean male, female, not just pushing things to a female, not that, you know, your values align, you have shared values, you know that yes, there is nothing called compatibility. I'm sorry to break this. We love saying nothing is called compatibility. But when you see marriages that are thriving, it's because you said something about there will be issues. That is it. They've been able to pull through challenges, phases of, because marriage are in phases. That's why you hear people say the first 5 years of marriage is usually challenging. Now they are saying 10 years. And maybe later they say, I said, see, the devil will bring a lot of things to us to think. I'm hearing 10 from some person, and their counselors, they say, yeah, now it's 10. I said, why people used to say 5 before? Is it because a lot of us now, we have people now that are really, the 5 said, to the glory of God, they are still good. So you think, let's extend it by by 5 years. It's not about the number of years. You have people that will go through and they'll be able to, you know, cushion the effect of whatever they are facing very well. So that is why that shared value is very, very important. Very important. When you have shared values, you'll be able to sit down to talk. You won't shout on yourselves. So issues will come and you understand that we are not running away, but we're sitting down to discuss it. So a good marriage, you must have shared values. You're ready to be each other's companion, support system. You're not the one pulling someone, that you're not competing with someone you're supposed to be complimenting. You know, she's doing well, you're saying, like one was telling me, he said, I posted something, he said, so I don't know, just was like, someone that will support you, that is marriage. He or she must be ready to, and she was asking me, and I sort of know her, she's, I think, sort of old. Not like, you know, Nigeria, we have our, when I think she's close to 40, over 40, I think over 40, not married, but then she has money. And we have men that can't. But she was trying to ask her, why can I and everything. I tell you, I'm not saying you should lower your standard. If you lower your standard, you keep lowering your marriage.
Yes.
But if a guy understands that money is not, I tell people,
not the issue.
Money is not what makes a man. It's not what makes you responsible. If you understand that fact, that no, Jerry, I have a lot to me than the money thing that people think until you have money, you can't, you know, land on the shadow of your family. It's the money that will make you the, you know, battalion in that garrison command of your family. Now you're now giving the dad's head. Marriage is not what makes you the head. Do you understand? So you have those share values, you can, you know, complement each other. We are able to live together, you know, coexistence without trouble. When there are challenges, we can sit down, talk about these things, and we are fine. And then we are not abusing ourselves emotionally. Because we all talk about physical abuse, the reality is a lot of people in marriage are emotionally abused. And truth is, you can, if I have scars here, you would see it. But the wound of the heart, nobody sees it except myself feeling it. And so that's why you just she has hung herself, or maybe she committed suicide. And they'll be like, suicide is not an option. I'll still tell you, when you tell people suicide is not an option, you are even wrong yourself. Everybody knows it's not an option, but they got to that stage, they didn't just know how to go about it. Just so a good marriage won't give you trouble. It's not a cliche. You are meant to enjoy, not endure. Now we are saying enjoy, now not, you know, things could come and we are saying, oh, let's delay gratification. We can endure, but not that
it has to be
you putting, you know, strains on yourself. It doesn't have to be
that are avoidable.
Exactly.
You don't put strains on the relationship. So that's just the thing. And then it must be that they are legally married. Let me put that. They are not cohabiting. That is marriage. Because a lot of us now, we have a lot of things they're calling marriage.
Yes.
And at the long run, one person is affected, especially ladies. Because I've seen a lot of them, they really crave the institutions and they want the legal thing, but the other person is not ready. But meanwhile, you've been cohabiting for how many years, and so you think you're stuck.
Wow.
You can't go out again. You said it, sometimes will tell you, I have a child for him. How will I do it? That's not the end of the world. You should be able to still sit down and get things. Even one came at the point, the parents are talking, but she feels, if I go now,
what will happen to me?
Maybe, you know, there is this where they use Olomoko or something. She was telling me that it doesn't matter. It's just about getting it right. That's what matters.
Okay, before we go on a break, Lawrence, so what makes, she just described a good marriage now. Very well said. Now, what makes a marriage valid? Like, you are in a marriage, and of course, some people are like, is this marriage still working? Is this still valid? What makes a marriage valid? Like, what are those things that you see that you're like, okay, this marriage is still valid, let's push it through?
She mentioned some things about values, and values, she mentions emotions also. You and your partner, when you're legally married, people shouldn't become strangers.
Right.
When you allow emotion, she said something very important. When you are talking about physical wound, everybody can see it.
See it, right.
But the emotional one is only the person that is affected that will be feeling it. So when there's nothing that puts strain in marriages like emotional issues, because it makes people drift apart. When people begin to drift, partners begin to drift and they don't connect. If you see your partner, there's something that should arouse in you. It should spark that fire in you that, oh, when you don't feel that anymore, that marriage is virtually not valid. People might be married officially, but deep down, both of you know that this marriage is not working.
It's not
so
working.
It means they need to do something, work on it, sit down, talk.
Which brings me to any advice when you find out that it's not valid anymore. What advice?
It's only both of them that can resolve it. There must be a reason. It's either one partner has been complaining that you need to do this, you need to act this way, this is what I want. Compromise must come. Because if you believe this is my way, you are fixing your ways that I am known like this, and your partner is complaining that no, you need to tweak it a little. You must realize that when it comes to marriage, that it still exists, but you need to downplay it a little to accommodate the other person. So if you are not willing to do that, I'm telling you, it will invalidate that marriage. So they just need to talk. It's only both of them that can solve it. There must be something causing it, either emotional issues, all those emotional stress. If they eliminate that, I think that will be fine.
That'll be working. Yeah. Okay, amazing, beautiful ones. I hope we're all learning when your marriage is valid and if it's invalid, what the way forward, and of course how we can actually keep making marriage relevant. But like they said, no matter what you do, marriage will still be relevant, like it or not. It will still continue to be relevant. I want to ask you, we're talking about marriage, knowing if it's valid and all of that. So I want to just ask, what are the factors that makes marriage last? You know, people go into marriage, yes, the challenges we all say, the issues that will come up. But what are those things that people need to infuse in their marriage that will make it last?
In terms of you need to keep your relationship with your partner fresh. Fresh in the sense that just like when you have a car, you need to maintain that car. You need to lubricate the vehicle to keep it going. Don't have a mindset that no, I don't need to do anything special she's already my wife, she already have kids for me. The more you make your partner feel very important, the more you make your partner feel that that love you had for her from the beginning is still there, the better for you. Nothing makes your relationship last more than that. That is the truth. If you can carry her out on a candlelight dinner, you do it. If you can take her out for anything, you see gift you buy for her.
Yes, yes.
Personally, I have a wife who likes gifts. That's the truth. And the funniest thing about her is that the gift, they must not be expensive. She's someone who value the little things. You go out, you come back, you just say something, oh babe, I got this for you. Things like that, those are the things she likes.
Wow.
So we always constantly walk on that trajectory because this is what my partner likes. You understand? So those are the kind of things that can sustain your marriage. Because when children begin to come, attention will be divided.
Yes.
Your wife will definitely want to concentrate on her kids, on how to raise them. Also, the man will also try to divide his attention between the kids, work, other things. Likewise, the woman. So they must find a common ground to spice their relationship and keep it fresh. That's the only way they can sustain their marriage. Outside that, it will become boring.
Right, exactly. You want to add something?
Okay, you said something. I usually tell people this. See, there will be see finish in marriages.
Oh, yes.
But we say something. Familiarity breeds content. But in your marriage, let your see finish and familiarity breed intimacy. Now, intimacy is intimacy. He said something. See, what makes marriage work? They're just little acts. Be a student of your spouse, meaning be teachable. You just talk about the wife now, loving gifts, and it doesn't have to be expensive. Extra. Meaning thoughtful gifts. You're coming from a place, you are even tired. She knows that you've been night since.
Yeah.
And it's after 11 or 10, and you just go to man, you're very tired. But you saw this thing on you, and you know that she will like it. That means you add me in.
Yes. Which is a very good one.
Very important. Little, thoughtful, and then a student of the wife. The same way for everybody. Be a student. And that's why when you come on social media and they're saying, this person is this, and you're saying, all men has come. All women want is money. How many have you been married to?
I tire.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So you should be a student of your own spouse. When you are a student of yourself, you have little problem. Because you're able to know their love languages. You know your apology language in marriage. You'll understand that this is his or her temperament, and so you work according to these things. So see finish, let it be intimacy, so you don't begin to like, at least I never knew he used to fart before. Now he's farting, so no wahala again. So now he's bathing, and so you put splash
everything
everywhere, and so because of that, and you are trying to train a man as if you are the mother. Do you understand? All these little things, make sure and then open, honest, and vulnerable communication is important. One bedrock of marriage that we can't joke with is communication. A lot of us think when things happen, and let's sleep over it. And me, I'm angry now, I can't talk. You're angry now, you can't talk. They will minister another thing to you. You want to hear from another person. Some persons will go to and you are discussing someone that, especially if the person doesn't even like the institution marriage, he or she just tells you things and be like, hey, so I've been in this house or something all this while. Influence. Mind the kind of influence you bring into your marriage. Very, very important. Mind people that talk into your mind, that talking, even your pastor. I'm saying this because I've seen some, I think like 9 years ago, I think the family, I don't want to say they are divorced now, but I think recently I heard that they are trying to
work back.
I'm very happy about it. What happened? The woman told the man, Pastor Walu Folewa, meaning it was a pastor that destroyed her marriage. And I was trying to ask what happened.
What happened?
When she explained, she was right.
Oh, wow.
It was a case of IS bidder. I think they said they had brought, yes, that's the English, I'm coming. They had brought a lot of persons into that particular church as pastors. I think 3 pastors had already been there, they've gone.
Oh.
And they were aware about this man's philandering and all the things he was doing. But then they didn't support him, and so he wouldn't come to them. But the one came, and so because the man is the one sending the children to school, he was not on the side of the man. So he wasn't able to talk to him. He was he will come home and tell the wife, hey, I know whatever you will do is pastor, you still go to. You know all these church girls.
Yeah, pastor.
So That was how he felt. And if the pastor is doing this, what else again? They left, and he was like, it was pastor. If pastor had done what other people did, because the times those ones didn't support, he was coming to his senses, he will still come back and do what is you understand. And I tell people, if your pastor is not trained, don't put the burden of a marriage counselor on him.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of them will just counsel you, traditional counseling. And you are the man. Kneel down and beg your husband and say sorry, and that is there. Hug your wife, and that's the end. It doesn't work like that.
He's kneel down for me.
Yes. And so all these things is very important. You must communicate, talk with each other, speak with each other, talk to each other. Don't talk when there are issues. Make sure you're really talking, not just because there are issues. I tell people, we have 3 stages of communication in marriage. There is a place where you're talking, and just a surface we are talking. And there are times when I want to sit down and discuss about some things, and there are times when I need to brainstorm. And when you're doing all these things, your marriage is your senior. Nobody is the head here. Marriage is the head. Meaning the two of you, you talk about self. Self must die. If you're selfish, you will destroy your marriage. If you're self-centered, you will destroy your marriage. So make sure that you are selfless. You're ready to sacrifice. You're ready to serve the other person. Marriage is a place of service. At every point, you're ready to serve. And the beautiful thing, when you're serving your spouse, you're serving yourself.
Exactly.
If that man is happy, that woman is happy, you're building a joyful home together. You're building a blissful home together. You're building a union where your children will be happy. I tell people in my home, we're trying to build a legacy because our children are watching. So if you understand that your children are watching, what you want to do is legacy. That means you're giving something for them. You said it earlier, Gen Zers, not all of them are bad. So if some are bad, you're leaving a legacy of, this is how marriage is to a lot of persons, and so they carry on with it. But in your own case, one person at a time, he believes in a good marriage. I believe, you believe, that's why we have this here. Everybody in the studio believes in a good marriage. That means with 6, we can carry on. If you have 2 children, 6 times the 2 of them, you understand, multiply effect of marriage. Marriage is a merger. Marriage is a lot of things together, both good and bad. So that's why we need to really think and know that it's about the little things
that matter.
So, and you're ready to forgive. It's a big thing in marriage. Don't keep record. I was somewhere on the weekend. I told them a lot of women, we have even not just record, we have journal of offense. And
they say one thing, a woman can take her secrets to the grave, and the way she does not forgive you, she will take it to
Mr. Lawrence, you know, one told me something else. And at the point they will tell you, you know, you run and say, most of my car, J from Jesus. You know, when they remove J from Jesus, the really is issue. And I was like, he said, this is about to believe. I don't know, like when they are on, I said, this is me and your spouse. And you are very correct. And we have jar of offense instead of jar of gratitude. So you write those things. My husband was sitting on our 3-seater. He said, sweetheart, why did you talk like that? And my mother-in-law too said, your head is not correct. When you are not Jennifer's diary, you know they wrote these things, and the man hasn't forgotten that this thing
happened.
Yeah, 1930 something, and she brought it and she was like, you did it that last year. You sat there. Your mother was there. You was even so. You
have you forgotten last year, January? You know the way we keep the memories and the day. Lawrence, I want you to react to this because Mr. Lawrence is giving some signs here.
I can relate with that because women have a way of doing things. But as a man, you just take it like that. At times you just hear it, you just try to downplay it. Because I'm having studies where my wife will say, babe, I'm angry at you. I say, what have I done today? When I say that, she will just burst into laughter. She say, oh, so you'll be offending me. I say, because I don't know. For you to just wake up, now tell me that you are angry. What have I done today? I don't remember. If you hear the reason she will give to you, it's something. In fact, you begin to wonder and say, "Kai, women, wow." But what do we do? What do we do? That's just life. That's how the institution is. That's how it works. You see all sort of things. She said something about sea finish. That sea finish, it should become how did she want to be intimacy? Because it is exactly. You people can do all sort of things in front of each other and laugh smile over it.
Yes.
That's a good thing about it. So we just learn to move with it. We just live
I honestly love this part. But it just breaks my heart the way, you know, the way you even finished everything, and like ladies will always just be ladies.
Yes.
The way we keep things in mind.
We have records.
Oh, we have a lot of records. Even for ourselves. Like, have you forgotten that day that I gave you a pen and you said you give me, but you didn't give me? How would I give you? I'll be like, wow, how do we keep so good records? And sometimes I feel like those those bad records that we put makes us forget to be grateful for those little things that matter.
I'm not saying it.
Okay.
We are good at keeping we have a room where we keep bad, record of bad things. But where we keep good things is just like
very fingertip.
Meanwhile, if you're able to think very well, you are telling me your husband is not good. And then we sat down and I started asking, who is doing this? Him. Who is doing this? Him. And we listed but when you were trying to list the good things on your own parts, it all was plenty. What his own good thing was like maybe one or two. But the bad.
Oh, very
But
plenty.
by the time we sat down, we started, I was giving you tips. Now, what about you were able to
realize.
You broke down. Real life issue. You broke down, started crying I didn't see it like this before. You didn't see because you've been clouded with the bad.
Yes.
Exactly.
And he just did this thing.
Exactly.
You forgot that this man, it rained yesterday, or probably under that scorchy sun. He still went out to get things that you wanted. And he didn't see it as anything. But because just mistakenly, maybe
maybe you asked him to buy suya or something.
Suya, and that one, he didn't pass that particular place to you. And you're like, that is the way you do. And crocodile tears with some women. Oh my God. They can finish a man that is not wrong.
But the man have been doing it all this while. Yes. So you cannot use just
do you understand? But
one instance.
And we use one instance to write off
everything.
So another thing that will make your marriage work, please, it is better we keep good record of good things they are doing for us, and we celebrate ourselves. Celebrate your spouse, fat, tall, thin, whatever. You have the best. Whoever is taller than your wife or your husband is too tall. Whoever is shorter than them is too short. If it is too light, the person is too lighter than your spouse, they are too light. So the best package you can have is that woman. The breast is no more standing. You cost it than your children, whatever and an age is costing you some strand in the body. What I'm saying in effect is celebrate yourself. Celebrate what you have. Stop looking at that other field. It is greener because some persons are watching, they're tending to the field. Tend to your field. When you tend to your garden, you tend to your field, things will be fine. And all these negative things you're seeing, you won't see them again.
You won't see them again.
Do you understand
what I'm saying? You see more of the positive.
Yes, positive, and then appreciate yourselves. He was talking about this. You understand how my wife will look, and he's doing it. I'm telling you, and at times, I usually say this to women, please, when your husband is doing something good, tell the man. Don't we hold appreciation. Women, you'll be like, I don't want his head to expand. Let the head expand. The man too now human.
Is it only men that will be pampering women?
Your head must be expanded. Do you understand? And the wife might not talk, but if you now sit down, you're like, and my husband, but women's just like, my husband is doing this and I love him for that. Go and tell him at home. Don't tell me.
Right?
Do you understand? So celebrate yourselves, appreciate each other, and don't, whatever, some things are just little. There are times people will fight. You ask the woman itself that is keeping it. She's the one angry actually. But you ask her what happened. I'll be like, he did.
How about you?
What the did, he can't remember the did again. I'm telling you, I've seen a lot of cases like she has forgotten. But she will tell you, but I know that he did something.
Wow. That means
women, we are special species.
Very special species.
I'm glad it's coming from a woman. Women are special species.
We are very special species.
But one thing I always say, like part of what she said, I always tell people that happiness is a choice. At times, it goes beyond looking towards someone to make you happy. You need to make up your mind first. Like what she said, when you talk about celebrate what you have. Those little things, the little effort someone makes. Pardon me, I have to go back to this again. That was 2 weeks back, 2 Sundays ago, I was in the church. And a text message came into my phone. I didn't even know until I got home. So when I now got home, I now saw a text message, blah, 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 thank you for all the sacrifice you make for our family, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I think it's from my wife.
Oh.
It was touching, even though I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't, but
You
took
felt
me,
it.
you understand, I felt it. That, oh, really? This woman, she really noticed it.
Yeah.
That's nice. You get. So it's not as if we are perfect. We have our issues. We resolve them. That's what marriage is all about. But what I'm trying to say, you must always look, like what she said, look for the bright side
the
in your
positive side.
own relationship. Look for the bright side.
focus on
Don't
the
always look
focus,
out there that
yes.
is greener. Like she said, someone is watering it. You may go there and it's not that rosy the way it
The way you
is.
think, yeah.
But they are trying to make it look rosy for you. So why not concentrate and also make yours rosy by appreciating what you've got? That's the key. So when you talk about happiness, at times I always tell people that happiness goes beyond looking towards someone to make you happy. Happiness is a choice. You need to decide. The moment you realize that it's a choice, I want to be happy. I need to live like this to be happy. I'm telling you, you remove a certain percentage of burden of things that will make you unhappy.
I will feel you thinking that your partner is the reason why you have to be happy is a burden, and I think it's even selfish because yes,
you bring your happy. So if you're happy, she's happy, he's happy. You bring your happy into the marriage, and you make the marriage happy. So both of you are happy.
Both of you are happy.
When I discovered, sorry, let me just chip in this.
Yes.
I remember when I was to go for NYC in Borno State. I've never been to the north prior to NYC. So I never thought they would take me all the way to northern Nigeria, not to talk of Borno, which is virtually the end of Nigeria when you're talking about northeast. I went to Student Affairs. Someone just told me at the gate. The person saw me at the gate. I said, one of my classmates. He said, Lawrence, you are going to Borno? I said, you are the one that is going to Borno. I never knew the guy already saw it. I went there, I saw BO. I asked my friend, I said, I didn't want to accept it. Bruno, what do? I had to return home. My plan was to pass there straight to NYC. I had to return back home to my parents. One of my senior friends told me something which served me well. He said, Lawrence, create your own happiness. And I went, that statement, he told me on the eve of me traveling to Bruno. And I went with renewed vigor. I wouldn't have asked for a better state to serve than Borno. I enjoyed my service here. Fortunately, there was no insurgency then. At least I left there like 6 months before the whole insurgency. I left there 2008. So I met good people. I discovered their culture, knew more about northern Nigeria as a result of NYC. So imagine I went there, I was having the intention that, okay, it's only when they post me here to Lagos because I'm used to Lagos, or this is the only place I can be happy. I'll probably be miserable, frustrated throughout my service here. But I went there with an open mind, created my own happiness, like my senior friend said, and I was better off for it. So that's the approach people should take about life.
Now, the advice is create your own happiness. Don't expect your spouse to be the source of your happiness. That would be selfish and too much of a burden for your spouse. I think we'll use this one to wrap up the show. I love that one. So right now, I'm creating my happiness. Chisum, I'm creating my happiness. Don't you agree?